stripping old paint sucks. And if you do it wrong, you can mess up an entire panel. So what's the easiest way to strip panels at home that is cost effective, relatively easy, and doesn't involve a heap of specialized equipment? I'm going to show you. Oh, come on. Now, don't get me wrong. You've got plenty of options when it comes to paint stripping. You've got paint stripper, but it's messy and you've got to wait for it to do its thing. You've got sandblasting, but you need a heap of equipment, time and money. Or you send it to somebody for sandblasting, in which case you've got to pay them a heap of money and you may get a panel back that's worse than you sent. Or you've got chemical dipping, but do you know anybody within 200 kilometers of you who has a dipping tank that you're willing to spend the money on for a project that you want to tootle around on the weekend? Me either. So this is what I do. Now I have this guard here that we've done previously that needs to be finished. Let's get this stripped down. I'll show you the process I use, and then we can do a time trial on the other one. See how quickly we can strip the guard off. So this is a sander polisher variable speed. This is probably the most important tool for this method. If you don't have one, I highly recommend getting one. They're not that expensive and you will use it for far more than just sanding panels. I then have a standard orbital sander. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. This is a $50 Zeto one. I actually recommend that you get a cheap one because sanding paint and bog dust tends to do them no good. And then for all the small stuff and finicky stuff, we have our air sander with the little roll-lock discs. You don't need to have these. You can get away with hand sanding. Now, as far as sanding pads go, don't need to overthink it. These are all 80 grit or something close to it. I've got a couple of coarser ones. I've got a couple of finer ones, but for stripping paint, 80 grit is about where you want to be. I use these cheap, I think they're like a Temu special. I pay about $20 for 100 or something of these. So look, they're not good, don't get me wrong, but you're ruining them and you'll go through, you know, half a dozen of them for a panel. So more expensive ones are better, but these do the job just fine. Even though we're outside, we're going to put a mask on. This dust and stuff will get everywhere. And it's just not good to inhale, so don't inhale it. Okay, so lower setting, 600 RPM. And we're just going to keep it nice and flat and run it over. And you can see it still cuts pretty quickly. And yes, 600 RPM is slow. But watch what happens if I turn it up to 2,500. Keeping in mind that that is not the maximum speed that this polisher can go. It's actually good for 3,500. Now you can see it cuts way quicker. But not even a minute of this and we have clogged a pad. And this pad is now pretty much shot. We either have to clean it off or change it over. So let's get it done at the right speed and I'll show you what it looks like. Again, we're going to keep it nice and flat and it still removes it nice and quickly. We're not gumming up pads. That section there took me about 3 minutes. So I'm going to jump onto the orbital sander to give this a clean up. I'll show you the finish we're going for. Then I'll finish this guard off. We'll put it in epoxy and then we'll do the time trial on that guard to see how long it actually takes to strip a whole guard using this method. Okay, so now the purpose of the orbital is just to finish this off. It doesn't have a speed control. It's just on or it's off. Now, we already know that this guard, just looking at this, is pretty gacked, but let's see how bad the rest of it is once we sort of give it a finish. The reason we need to keep the sander flat is because it actually highlights where our damage is. So we've got one here, one here, one here, one here. There's a couple of little ones up here. But on the whole, that panel section is not bad. We'll get it back to metal. We'll see what the damage looks like, and then we'll decide what we do next. So the reason this works is because the big sander strips quickly, but is very rough. Small sander takes a lot longer, but you get a better finish. So by using both, you get the best of both worlds. Okay, so we've got this back to pretty much bare metal. And this is what it's telling me. So we've got a couple of little low spots here, but these low spots here, which we already knew about. The bottom of this panel is pretty much shot, but to here, it's not bad. We can fix this. So we could just put a bottom on it and probably get away with that. The other interesting thing it's highlighted is up here, you've got all these little pit marks from an old school body hammer. So an old school shrinking hammer by the looks of it. That means that this repair was probably done at least 30 or 40 years ago, which on the whole is good, but this is bad. So I'm going to finish stripping this, we'll do the epoxy, and then as I said, we'll do the time trial on this one, and we'll see just how effective this method is. This is exactly what I was talking about the grinder speed or the sander speed. Because this has about 3 different layers of paint, and one of them, I don't know what this is, but the second it gets hot, it just starts melting. And once it melts, it clogs the sandpaper and you're pretty much cooked until you either put a new sanding pad on or clean the old one. So this is exactly what we don't want it to do. We want to keep the heat distribution right across everything, not in little particular areas. So you can see here I dug in a little bit. This is probably just me being impatient, let's be honest. Now I know it looks like I'm breaking my own rule about keeping this flat, but unfortunately the uppers of these have a slight concave, which makes them kind of painful. So you can kind of see here, this must have some kind of old school polyester filler or something on it, because even at the low speed, it's still just melting. So this probably isn't the best guard to show this technique on, but so far I think we're about 35 minutes in for this one. So we're still getting through it pretty quick, and it's still coming up pretty well. Okay, so as I said, this is probably one of the worst ones to show this technique on, because whatever the polyester filler they used on this was terrible. It just melted. Even with all that, this still took me about 1 hour and 40, which is, I'm actually not upset about that because it's clean. The guard looks good. I'll show you around in a second, but this is giving us a really good base to work with. Like we've got, you've got a couple of little nicks and dings. You've got that dent there, a couple of little small marks, a couple of little rust spots, a couple of little dings, but overall this guard is definitely worth putting the time into, and now I know that this whole exercise was worthwhile. Okay, there we go. We've got it in a coat of epoxy. Aside from my gun needing a clean because it reacted terribly, this guard actually looks pretty good. We'll do the other one and we'll see where we're at. So let's do a time trial. Let's see how quickly we can strip this guard using this method. Now, full disclosure, I actually think this will take longer than normal because of whatever this filler is, but we'll see how we go. Ready? Start the clock. Okay, that's back to metal. It's not finished, but it's back to metal. And that took us about an hour and 20, give or take. We started at 124, it's now about 150. So an hour and 20, give or take. As I said in the beginning, this took way longer than normal because the 3 layers of paint and whatever that filler was just awful, even with new sanding pads. I went through 10 sanding pads to do this, so which is way more than normal. You should be able to get this done in about 6, but it should also be able to get it done in about 40 minutes. So anyway, that gives us a fully exposed panel that shows us everything that's going on. Just looking at it like this is probably worth putting some time into. It's actually not that bad. Obviously we've got a lot of bog down that end, got a few little spots and things, but once we run the small sander over this, we'll know exactly what we're dealing with. All right, we're going through, we just touched up a couple of these little rust spots to make sure they don't come back. Give the whole thing a wipe over with wax and grease. It's a little rough. It has a bad patch right here that's going to have to be cut out and redone. Got a bit of an oil can spot here that we'll need to fix. But, you know, I'm still pretty happy with that. On the whole, this guard's actually not that bad either. Right, so these guards are not at all ready to go back on the car, but look at that. We have 2 completely ground down to bare metal guards that we can now work with to move forward. And combined, it only took us about 3 hours. And let's be real, once you put them on the car, ooh, that's some motivation right there. It starts to look like something. Now, I'm not saying that this is the best way to do it. I'm not even saying it's the right way to do it. I'm just saying it is the quickest way that I've found to get things stripped back to a point that you can make a proper assessment of what's going on underneath. You know, even with this coat on, you can see we've got some dents, we've got some marks, we've got some Bondo, we've got some bog. There's stuff to fix, there's stuff to finish. But on the whole, we now know that these guards are actually pretty reasonable. So I hope you guys have got something out of this. Maybe you know a better way to do this, in which case I'm all ears. I would love to hear it. If anybody knows what that polyester filler stuff that keeps melting is, let me know, because I would love to know how to deal with that better. So by all means, if you have another way to do it, chuck it in the comments. If you have any questions, suggestions or otherwise, throw them down the bottom. I am always interested to hear what people have to say. If you could, give us a like, a subscribe. You know, if you'd like to see content like this, let me know. But other than that, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.